speed up. Missile. Multiple. Laser. Ripple laser. Force field. Destroy them all. Missile chamber is empty. Pick it up for multiple. Multiple. Pick it up for missile. Multiple. Missile. Pick it up for force. Pick it up for ripple laser. Force field. Ripple laser. Multiple. Multiple. Pick it up for speed up. Speed up. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Go up. Pick it up for laser. Laser. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Go to the right. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Force field. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Go to the right. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Go up. Force field. danger. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Danger, danger. 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 Ah! Try again. Missile chamber, pick it up for multiple. Multiple. Pick it up multiple. Missile. Pick it up for force field. Force field. Ripple laser. Multiple. Multiple. Pick it up for speed up, speed up. Multiple. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Pick it up for later. Placer. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Go to the right. Missile. Jump. An intruder has penetrated our force field. intruder has penetrated our force field. Go to the right. An intruder has penetrated our force field. Multiple. Go up. Force field. Ease up. Missile. Multiple.